Hi, sixth graders. We're on multiplying decimals, still in the decimals unit. This is what you should label your page. Our learning target is being able to multiply decimals. So when we multiply decimals, the most important thing to remember is that our decimal points do not line up. Instead, we will line them up with the numbers starting on the right. So 2 and 34 hundredths times 1 and 23 hundredths. That one happens to line up, but we don't need to normally line them up. Then we multiply like normal, just like whole numbers. We're going to ignore the decimal points for now. So 3 times 4 is 12, and then 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Add my 0 to hold my, this would be my hundredths place, I guess. But if we're ignoring the zeros, add my 0 to hold my ones. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. These go away because they were for before. 2 times 2 is 4. And now I'm going to add 2 zeros for my 1 to hold this place and this place. 1 times 4, 1 times 3, 1 times 2. Now I add everything together. 2, 8, 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 4 is 17. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8, and then my 2. Step 3, count how many total place values each decimal is from the right. So we go here and we can see that this is 2 in from the right. Starting here, this is 2 in from the right. Count how many total place values. So we do 2 plus 2 is 4, and then we place the decimal in your product that many places over. So we start from the right and we go 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer then is going to be 2 and 8,782 10,000ths. And we could rewrite it to make it look nice and neat. Okay, let's try another one. 45 and 35 hundredths times 5 and 6 tenths. So here is an example of lining up by number and not by decimal. 6 times 5, let's get a different color here. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. 30 plus 2 is 32. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Add my 0 to hold my 6th place because now I'm doing my 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And I'll just kind of scratch these off so I know that they're not for this one. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2, so 17. And then 5 times 5, 25 plus 1, so 26. 5 times 4 is 20, so 22. Add together 0, 6, 9, 13, 5, 2. So I start from the right and go in to my decimal. That was 2. Start from the right, I go into my decimal, that's just 1. Add them together, I get 3. So then I start on the right, go 1, 2, 3. So my answer, let's rewrite it, is going to be 253 and 96 hundredths. This is a 0 on the end. It's after the decimal. There's nothing after it, so I can delete it. All right, pause me and do a couple of these or do all 4, and then just come back and check your answers. So we'll go through these quickly. 6 and 28 hundredths times 45 and 1/10. probably gonna run out of room here, so I better be small. 8, 2, 6, 40, so 14, 31, and then 2 zeros, 32, so 3 is gonna go there, 8, 11, and then 24. Oh, shoot. Oh, what did I do? Back to my pen. A 2 needs to go in there. 8, 2, 6, 4 is 10, 12, 3, 8, 2. Okay, so this is the part that I see the most confused. So go in 2, in 1. So I'm going to go in 3. 1, 2, 3. 283. That's an 8. And 228 thousandths goes with that one. All right, we have 9 3/10 times 34 hundredths. So this is an interesting one if we're looking at what our answer is reasonably. Let's do green here. I'm multiplying 9 3/10 by a number less than 1. So, my answer is actually going to be less than 9, or 9 3/10, because I'm multiplying it less than 1, which is going to make it a smaller number. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 times 9 is 36, plus 1 is 37, and then 0, 9, 27, 2, 16, 11, 3. Which, by the way, notice I didn't have to do anything for my third line for my 0, because I just knew that would all be 0. So I really just had to multiply the 4 and then put a 0 to hold my place and do the 3. So now I go in 1 here, in 2, so 1 plus 2 is 3. So I'm going to go in 3. So 3 and 162 thousandths. And really, 0.34 or 34 hundredths, 34 out of 100 is close to 1/3. And when we think of like a third of 9, we break 9 into 3. One of those groups, a third of it would be 3. So it makes sense that we're taking 9 3/10 times close to a third, and that's why we're getting a number smaller than 9. All right, we have 10 72 hundredths times 4 8/10. All right, I'm going to move those problems onto this next page. We'll see if this works. I've never done this before on a video. So we had 10 72 hundredths times 4 8/10. 8 times 2 is 16. Now I can write nice and big, which is what I like to do. 8 times 7 is 56 plus 1, so 57. 8 times 0 is 0 plus 5, and then 8 times 1 is 8. Add my 0 to hold this place. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 7 is 28. And then I know 4 times 0 is 0 plus 2, and 4 times 1. Add them together. Count how many in, so 2 in, 1 in, 3 in total. Oops, now I'm going too fast. 51 and 456 thousandths. All right, last one. We have 2/10 times, oops, I think it paused me for a second. Okay, we can write it like this, or if we rewrite it like this, 45 hundredths times 2 tenths, because remember multiplication is commutative, so we can write it in any order and it would still be the same. This way, then I only have to multiply by the 2 and then I'm done. So 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and then 2 times 0 is 0. And then my 0 would just be everything 0. So then I'm done, except now I need to figure out where my decimal goes. So that's in 2, that's in 1, 3 total, 1, 2, 3. I never start a number just with a decimal, so I'm going to add a 0. So my answer is going to be 0 and 9 hundredths, because I can drop this 0 since it's on the end. So really I would just read this as 9 hundredths. All right, that is all we have. So rewatch if needed. Make sure you have your notes in class tomorrow, and have a good night.